Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Malikicowtipper going to bring you another game of StarCraft 2. Today my opponent is Soapy, and right now, God, so frustrating. This is actually the third time I've started casting this game. The first time I started casting it, my phone went off right in the middle of it and just started blaring some kind of like weird Celtic heavy rock shit or something like that, and I couldn't have that, so like I'm a professional, I'm going to restart casting this game, not a problem. And the second time I'm casting this game, everything's going just fine. And all of a sudden I look up at my microphone and I see a silverfish sitting right on top of it. And for you guys that don't know what silverfish are, they're just the grossest, I won't say they're the grossest thing ever, but they're just more of an annoying insect. And the reason I say that is they don't bite, they don't destroy your house or do anything particularly bad, but they are just really annoying. They get to about an inch long, they've got these weird tentacles on their back. They actually look a lot like a Defier from StarCraft 1. Check it out, or just Google silverfish. And the worst part is they're very, very chemical resistant. They're not nearly as bad as cockroaches. And yep, you can see that me and Soapy are having a nice little conversation down here. Good manners before the game. Soapy's happy. I'm happy. Let's get into some StarCraft. And yeah, so the one thing is, I've gotten about halfway through this game twice, so I will definitely try to point out all the cool stuff that happens in the game. Try not to give anything away for you guys. And anyway, let's get into the game. We can see that I have my scouting drone coming up, finding the pylon very quickly. This makes me extremely happy. You can just set a nice little bit of movement path right here, and then I can pretty much chill over my main base and, you know, migrate my drones, do whatever I need to do, because I can check out the mini-map here and see right away when that's coming. And right now, he's actually doing what I would do. He's just attacking me, getting me to move out of position, and now that his forge is down, you know, my drone's low on health, I don't stand a chance at actually trying to fight that probe, and his scouting probe's getting into my base. He's going to come in here, and he's going to see that I don't have a pool, I don't have a gas, and he's actually going to see that drone going down there. And when I saw that, I'm like, oh, hey, cool, guess what? I'm getting my base down. And he is like, you know what, dude? I don't know if you are. So now the real big question is, am I paying enough attention to my mini-map, or if we can see here, this is actually a really good play. I'm going to take it back by about 10 seconds for you guys right here because it's worth watching. So what ends up happening... Oh, did I take that too far back? I took that way too far back. We're going to go forward 246. Going to let me do an in-between? It's not going to let me do an in-between. And we're just going to go right back to this part in the game. What happened here is he did a mass drone pull right here and tried to kill me. Gave me the alert, and I'm like, shit, I need to get over here and save my scouting drone. And in doing that, he put up a proxy pylon. I absolutely love that play, got my attention, and I have no clue that this probe is starting to put down this pylon. I'm completely oblivious to it. My vision is not going to permit that at all, and my drone dies. He did a good job at denying my scouting, and I'm just like, oh, God. Why am I staring at that drone for so long? I'm not following my camera. You can see right here, I'm checking this out, and I have no clue what's going on. You know, I'm completely content with my fast expand, and he's like, nope, you're actually going to die. So the only chance I have at, you know, having any clue what's going on right here, because I cannot see these cannons, I can't hear them warping in, is for them to fire off a shot and hit my hatchery, and then for me to be very Johnny on the spot and to cancel. We can see right here that they're just warping in right now. There's only like half a second left, and I was not quick enough. I did not cancel it. The hatchery goes up, and it's just going to fall. These two cannons are just going to work away at it, and I have absolutely no hope at getting enough lings out in the field. My queen is not even done yet. There's just nothing I can do about this. I'm going to have to let him take down this expansion. And at this point, Soapy has to be feeling just awesome. He has his gateway going down. He has a photon cannon coming here to prevent any type of desperate ling run by counterattacks. Actually putting down a second pylon. Probably going to see a cyber core right in here with a zealot to complete the wall. One thing that's going to happen here, and I actually want to see this, we're going to follow Soapy. If we take a look at this, Soapy right here moves away, and he is not watching his mini-map. He did not see my drone going over to that third expansion. So what that's going to allow me to do is that is going to let me get... Hold on one second. Okay, thought there was somebody outside. That is going to allow me to get a second expansion up outside of... excuse me, outside of my main natural pocket expansion. I like pocket expansion. It makes me think of poker, and poker's just really awesome. And this probe also went and scouted down here. So right now with this probe in the front, he's feeling fairly confident about the fact that he's got me contained. You know, he knows... To him, he knows exactly what's going on in that probe. Having ninja skills, getting away, son of a gun, I'm not able to kill it, and I possibly could have timed something here with my broodlings. If I would have had 6 zerglings in position, I might have stood a chance of taking down one, maybe both of the cannons, but at this point, I'm not too concerned about killing those cannons because I have this base up and running, and I have a few lings, and I have this overlord here, so I'll see when the probe moves out. So if he moves out of here to go and check these bases again, I'm fairly certain that I'll be able to see it. This hatchery is nearly complete right now. And the creep, even though I can't see anymore, I need to follow this with these lings. I need to get the lings over there, and I'm not paying attention. God, why am I not paying attention? I have nothing more to do at this point in the game. We can see I've gotten double gas. I have speed on the way. I have, you know, pretty much decent saturation. I'm producing a lot of overlords because I'm so terribly supply blocked in right now. I am trying to get lings out in the field. I will be running these guys over there, but their speed is not yet completed, and pretty much the fate of this game hinges on me getting this probe and not allowing him to cannon the space. If he can cannon the space, there's almost nothing I can do to come back from it at this point. I did move my overlord out so it doesn't get killed by stalkers or by cannon fire, and if we go to the income tab right now, we can see that he is leading me 30 to 22 harvesters. But to my advantage, well, I won't say to my advantage, but at least to my benefit, I have my second base up and running, and at this point, I can pretty much start to drone, and drone very, very heavily, and I'm going to produce a few more units worth of lings, and once the speed is done, I should be able to go after the pylon, take it down, and the one thing with that is the pylon has 400 health. These cannons each have 300 health, they both have 1 Protoss armor. So when you're going after something like this, it's beneficial to try to take down the pylon first, because to kill both cannons, you have to do 600 total damage. At this point, you have to deal 400 total damage. And you'll need about 12 to 15 zerglings to be able to out DPS those cannons, because they're going to, if they're both firing on the same zerglings, they're going to one-shot them, and that's just never a good place to be in. Right now, economy, I'm actually up on him by 1 harvester, so what I'm doing is I'm rallying a bunch of harvesters to my main base. That way I can transfer them over, and actually I really should be transferring them now just because I have a clear path. He doesn't have a lot of vision over here at this part of my base, so all he knows is that there was creep there at one point, and these lings coming in, we can see there's just so lings taking the cannon fodder, slowly but surely whittling away the pylon, more lings coming in to back it up, and the cannons go down. They're all going to die. If we check out units lost right now, it is favoring the Protoss by a little bit, and as I kill those cannons, it's going to favor me and pretty much even itself up, and realistically, damage-wise, all things considering, I don't know if that attack actually slowed me down all that much. The one thing I'll say is that Soapy has decided to go Stargate in the meantime, which I actually do like that play, because a lot of Zergs would decide, hey, this is a good time to go and, you know, get roaches and lings to kind of fend off a 4-gate or an 8-gate. Not me, man. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna get Hydras. And one reason why I got that second gas so early is I wanted to go Hydras, I wanted to build this Nidus network, and I was really hoping to drop it over here and do a counterattack and just be like, you know what, if you can do something crazy, I can do something crazy, but this Void Ray is pretty much going to give him complete map control, and at this point, I'm like, well, cool, I have Hydras anyway. Not a big deal. So I'm laying down 2 Spore Crawlers over here at the main base. I'm going to produce some Hydras over here, and I have 3 Spine Crawlers in the front. So this main base is actually going to be very, very well defended against this push. So the timing on this, just kind of having that sixth sense that there's going to be some type of push coming at it is kind of a good thing. And right here, I do not have any real defenses at my main base because I have a few lings, I have a few hydras, I'm fairly confident I can hold down anything. And just because I had a lot of money and a lot of workers for a while, I laid down both Evo chambers. I don't have the money or the supply to fund it right now. We check this out, he's going to come in, and these spine crawlers just going to do a lot of work on these zealots. Now that the hydra's moving, he knows that he needs to back out. Void Ray taking a little bit of damage, and the queen's like, fuck you, get out of my base. And she has enough energy. I really need to transfuse the spine crawler, but I'm going to decide to inject and then transfuse it. I'll give it away. I do transfuse because I'm cool. Go to the income right now, we can see that it's favoring him 45 over 35, and that's because I had to switch from building excuse me, I stopped building drones to build attacking units, and I figured I would build just enough attacking units to hold that off, and then build some static defenses. It would take a fairly large push to break through 5 spine crawlers, a couple hydras, and a queen at this base. 4 hydras now, actually. Any type of airplay is basically not going to work over here because of the spore crawlers. We can see that he's massing more air units, and what he really needs to do at this point is transition out of this air build and tech up, get to Colossus, and shut down this build. So we can see he's actually going to get a few free Overlord kills, and I have a few Hydras, and I have a couple Queens over here, so I have plenty to deal with this, but realistically, this is just going to be annoying. It's going to supply block me, which really sucks, and he's going to fly away before I can do any real damage to him. He's going to stay just long enough to wear down the shields on that Void Ray. The Hydra's just doing a lot of damage, not taking much from them either, and I've built a Nidus network over here because if anything that he would do is I would expect mass pressure from gateway units on this base, and I want to be able to quickly reinforce from my main base. So this Nidus Worm, it isn't going to do me any good getting into his base, just because he has these air units, and I'm not going to be able to get an Overlord over there to do anything. You can see he's actually even building pylons over here as well, so he's definitely preparing for any type of shenanigans. But the one cool thing about this is I'm on 3 bases now, and he is on 2 bases. So right now he's playing Protoss 2 base, teching up. He has ground attack level 1 finished, he has ground armor level 1 on the way. I'm getting my 2-2 right away, my 1-1, my infestation pit is coming down. So my plan right now that I've held off the air attack, I've held off the ground attack, there's 2 things that can happen. He can all-in me with mass gateway units, stalkers and zealots, which as long as I, can rally my troops quick enough, I'm fairly confident I can hold it off, or he can tech up and go to Colossus, which is what I'm assuming he's going to do because I've revealed Hydralisks, and at this point I don't think I'm going to build another Hydra. I did get their group spine upgrade, which is pretty awesome, and I really do need to get a macro hatch. I have my pathogen glands coming down now, and I'm getting more queens. The reason why I'm getting these queens is I know I need creep spread. If I have any hope of staying in this game, I need to be able to see my bases and maneuver between them. So he still has this air force out here giving him map control, and his ground force is starting to come in. If we check out the income right now, I'm at 72 over 54, so I was just able to power drone off these 3 bases, and I'm taking a 4th base. I'm playing super aggressive on my expansions because I have a very good feeling that he is teching right now, and that I do not have to expect an attack anytime soon. I have a designated poop creeper. He has an observer scouting my army. I have 2 spore crawl. I have a spore crawler and 3 spine crawlers coming down just to prevent any type of DT stupidness or anything like that. So, and also just to kind of stop any type of air harassment right here, he's actually going to pick off this queen. No, she's going to die. Poor Gravitron Beam ending that queen's life, but at least the creep tubers are still alive. And this Air Force, it just can't do much. With the 4 Hydras and the 2 queens here, there's nothing that these troops can do. They'll just die too quickly. And we see here he's just now getting his 3rd base up and running. And the one real disadvantage that Soapy is now going to find himself in, yes, he does have a massive supply lead over me, but my income is going to be quite a bit better than his in 3 base, soon to be 4 base Zerg. You can see I'm getting my gas right away, is going to be absolutely perfect for my transition into Broodlords. So when you think about it, realistically, even though he killed my main base and stopped me from getting here all that time, my Hive Tech and my Broodlords are only about 2 minutes behind where they would be. And going for that starport, going for the cannon rush, and then building some ground units to try to take me out, his army is actually relatively small. His supply lead is quite large over me, and this Death Ball right now could easily attack and kill me, so this right here is a crucial timing. Soapy at this point has a huge, distinct advantage in the game. You can see that our upgrades are almost directly on par right now. My Spire is about to finish, so once my Corruptors are out, that can easily nullify these Colossus. There are a lot of Zealots on the ground, and if we take a look at this, I have a couple Infestors, but I'm going to transition almost straight into Zergling Infestor, and then into Broodlords. So this is the time where if he was to make an attack and to try to end the game, this would be it, because I'm about to become this is basically going to become hardcore macro Zerg, and there's just not much that he's going to be able to do to stop it. We can see that I'm really only using this base to mine off of gas. I could maybe use to get a few more harvesters, but realistically, I have a lot of money saved up right now, and I'm just going to start to burn it. Let's go back to the production tab. 20 Lings, 3 Corruptors on the way, more Creep Tumors going down. So right now, I'm taking a 5th base. You know what? Just because I can. I have the money. I'm not going to be able to spend it quick enough. And I figure it's one of those things where he's probably teching and expanding. I'm going to tech and expand as well. So if we take a look at this, I'm staying 1 base ahead of the Protoss the entire game. That's a very good thing. The Colossus number is very small. There are a lot of Zealots on the ground. There's 24 Zealots. There are not very many Stalkers. He has a Void Ray. This is just kind of a hodgepodge of an army. These Lings giving their life, but revealing exactly what I needed to see. I was able to see his 1-1 upgrades, making me feel very good about my 2-2 situation, matching the Protoss for upgrades, more Colossus on the way, and at this point we're more or less just waiting to max out, and we can see that our Protoss is maxed out right now, but I still think if he were to push at me, that I would be able to hold him off, as long as I could keep his Colossus out of range of my Hydras. These Hydras plus the Lings shielding them would do a very, very good job at working away at a lot of these Zealots. Zealots die pretty darn quickly to Hydras at a distance with Zerglings screening them. There's not a lot of Stalkers there, and I have plenty of Corruptors, and now we can see I'm morphing 9 Broodlords. So when I came in and did that Zergling run by, I knew that, you know, if he pushes out anytime soon, I'm screwed. I need these Broodlords. Well, I won't say screwed because I just said I thought I could hold it, but these Broodlords are going to be kind of the deal breaker on this. If he doesn't attack, he knows he needs to attack before them, and it's too late now. The Broodlords are out, and his Protoss Death Ball is kind of like, well, cool, what can I do? If we check it out, he's starting to float a lot of money right now because he's at 200 out of 200, and I think he's doing that. Probably just going to wait for his 3/3 weapons. He's waiting for Blink. We can see I just maxed up my supply with Corruptors, so I have 5 more coming, and then I have 5 Corruptors in the sky, so having between 8 and 12 Corruptors in your army is really what you want, because at that point, Corruptors, they do 20 damage to massive, and if we take a look at the Protoss armor, he'll have 4 armor, so they're doing 16 damage per shot. If there's 10 of them, able to clean up, get some free Zealot kills, very, very nice, and he is going to move in, going to slaughter a lot of my Creep Tumors. And all I really did right there for him is free up supply from those Zealots, more than likely allowing him to make more Stalkers. So I really like that play on his part. We can see he has another Stargate coming out, because now that the Broodlords are out in the field, he is going to need pretty much he needs Void Rays to deal with them, or Mass Stalker. That's going to be the best option that he has. Excuse me, we can see Soapy, 4th base, now up and running. We're both almost dead even on the Harvesters. And I don't think either one of us really wants to build anymore. And not a lot of action going on right now. We can see he's running some Zealots in over here, but they're just not going to find out that much to kill. My Zerglings, am I working on the crack upgrade? I'm not working on the crack upgrade. Oh, this sucks. There's going to be a good period of time right here, a good 3 minutes in the game where his upgrades are going to be quite a bit better than mine. That 3/3 on Protoss just kind of sucks. And right here we can see my Corruptor's just going to get some really good kills on these Phoenixes. Phoenixes actually only do like 6 damage per shot to Corruptors. Corruptors are like a hard counter to Phoenix. It's just crazy. But right now we can see that by throwing away those junk units, he's made room for some Archons. He now has a lot more Stalkers, and he has some High Templars. So this Protoss Death Ball is losing some of its weaker units. We can see he's down to half the Zealots that he had before. And these Archons right here are just going to be sick against my ground troops. They do, let's see, Zerglings have 35 health and 2 armor, and these guys do 47 damage with Splash. So they can just decimate my Zergling force. Hydras are equally screwed against them. They do a lot of damage to Broodlords. My Corruptors, you know, Infestors, I would really like to have a few more Infestors in this battle. And right here, I'm running these guys up because I know I need detection. And we can see he's just freeing up supply. All he's doing is freeing supply, killing my cheap Zergling units. And right here we can see, running in, I'm going to get those kills, but that's just more supply that he has from more Stalkers, and at that point I'm like, yeah, that's right, feed me those Zealots, you know, I'll decrease the size of your army, and then more High Templars, more Stalkers, more Void Rays. Ah, God, I didn't even realize that at the time, but all I'm really doing is feeding him. So I am going to have a decent position to attack with my Broodlords over here, because he cannot get his Stalkers directly underneath them, and I am able to snag a free Archon, which is always a great feeling when you can do that. And we can see 350 shield is just shenanigans, but right now he's going to actually be able to come in, get a decent engagement on me. He's going to be able to blink up a lot of those Stalkers, and right here I'm moving my army forward, and you can see fungal growths going down everywhere. These Corruptors going to do a lot of damage to the Colossus, a lot of infested Terran going down, and these Stalkers blinking right up onto the rocks. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Hydra's having a lot of fun, but their upgrades just aren't very good. They have 2 ground armor, but right now 3/3 for the Protoss, and my army is being cleaned up very nicely. But if we check this out, Zerg Remax power to the maximum. I was able to save a lot of the Corruptors, which is a good feeling. These Broodlords are still alive, able to snag that Archon. That is awesome. And anything I can kill at this point is just good news, but I need to pull them back. That is too much money just to sit there, and if I were him, I would have ran those down. I have an Infestor that's just chilling over here, like, don't forget about me, please. Got some observation going over here, and we can see that I'm taking gas on these bases because that's all I really need right now. I just have so much money. My creep spread about at the halfway point at the map. It would be a little bit better, but he killed my main creep going right through here. We can see I'm morphing just a lot more Broodlords. I have a lot of Zerglings on the ground, but I do not have enough Infestors. Infestors would really be the key right here, and I don't understand why he's doing this. He's throwing away so many sentries. I really don't know what the hell he's doing with these things. He's microwaving them, and then he's having him sit here in the map, and these are just free sentry kills. God, I really want to PM him and find out why he did this. So sentries are just so valuable. I mean, he didn't need to clear up the supply. He had the supply. That's just, so weird. I mean, I guess he just thought, you know what, screw it. I just want room for more stalkers. I don't need these sentries. But right now, my army is leading his very, very much so. I have, my Zerglings are 3-3. I never got the crack upgrade. Wow. I can't believe being such a Zergling heavy army that I forgot to get the crack upgrade. That stinks. I have +1 air attack, which is always a good thing. It helps your Broodlords out quite a bit, but I really should be researching more. He is going Carrier, getting Psionic Storm, and right now we can see that this would be a great place for me to engage right now. There's a lot of Stalkers, and as long as I can get my Fungal Growths in, so many Zerglings just dead. It sucks. God, I hate that so much. That's just so powerful. But at least their range is kind of lame. So I'm sending my Broodlords in right here, and they're actually going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, getting my Zerglings in, and I do get them mixed into the Stalkers very nicely. All the Archons are back away, and the Stalkers are just going to take a lot of damage from all of the Zerglings, and he's not focusing down my Broodlords. He's able to kill one Broodlord. Will he get a second one? No. He's not able to get any of those Broodlords. The Infested Terran giving me awesome secondary anti-air and just really helping me clean up a lot of these ground forces, acting as secondary troops. But right now there's a lot of Stalkers on the ground, and they're going to be able to start to do some work on the Broodlords. The Infested Terran are like, go, we'll cover you. And they're dead. So as far as the attack goes, we check out units lost right now. We can see that this is going extremely well for me because even though I've lost some Broodlords, I haven't lost a lot of my Infestors, which is very good. And right now at this point in that game, I'm shaking my head because I'm like, why is my army so small? I feel like I just do not have any troops on the field, but I have so many Corruptors. I have almost 16 Corruptors. I have 4 Broodlords. I have, 7 more Broodlords morphing, 11 of them total. I have quite a few Speedlings on the ground, and at this point my food advantage is quite a bit higher over the Protoss, and Protoss just have an extremely hard time dealing with this endgame composition. He desperately needs a mothership. That's about the only thing that can save him. The crack upgrade finally on the way, +2 flying attack, almost done. I'm getting more geysers just slowly starting to expand out. We can see that the Protoss slightly gas starved. There goes the mothership, but it's not coming for quite some time yet. We can see that this army this is not big enough to stop what is about to happen right here. So the Corruptors are going to go out, they're like, fuck that. The Zerglings going in, they just don't quite know what to do. They're being Zerglings. Fungal Growth missing right there, doing the army dance, and just picking off a lot of free kills. Anytime Broodlords get in there and kill stuff, it's just awesome because they are literally just free units. So right here, I'm going to rush in, and I'm actually going to be able to get a very good Fungal Growth on a lot of those Stalkers right there. Get my Zerglings mixed in. More Infested Terran going down everywhere. Broodlords, I am going to lose 1 Broodlord. Will I lose any more? 2 Broodlords going down. But that's going to be about it. Nope, there goes some more Broodlords. And right now he's doing a much better job at focusing them down. And I didn't do a very good job at fungaling a lot of those Stalkers. And my Zerglings just died so quickly. I mean, my ground troops, I really needed, I think, some Roaches mixed in with this would be extremely helpful right now. And we can see I'm actually just morphing Broodlords right in front of an enemy base. And we can see I'm supply blocked. I gotta have troops. Zealots in your base. Never a good time. That sucks. And these guys just gonna do a lot of work over here. There's a Warp Prism. I love the strategy of changing it up. Just where did my army go, man? Do I have that many Broodlords on the field? I feel like I'm missing troops, but here they come. More troops. That's Zerg Remax power to the maximum. The mothership almost done. And I'm not going to count Soapy out of this game yet because a good Toilet Bowl flush with a few Archons in it can absolutely destroy this army. But right now, this is really going to be the death blow. This expansion going down and losing all these workers and losing all the mining time, there's just not much he's going to be able to do. These Zealots right here, they're going to find out that these Zerglings and these Spine Crawlers just want nothing to do with them. And I did send over a couple Corruptors to get rid of this Warp Prism. I actually think I just got lucky and dragged them with it. And the Warp Prism going to fall. The Zealot giving his life for ire, trying to take down the hatchery. And at this point, splitting my army, getting some Zerglings into the base. And we can see right here that this cannon just doesn't do so good against Zerglings anymore. Now that they have 3 armor, I think it actually takes 3 cannon shots instead of 2 to take care of them. And they just lose their effectiveness very quickly. If we check this out, I have a lot of Corruptors on the field, more Corruptors, and now my Broodlord count is just going to kind of start to skyrocket, but I need to save enough Corruptors to deal with this mothership, but his food count so low, he is mining off of just one base now. This is the last bastion of hope. This mothership is the only thing that he has keeping him alive. He's going for Stalkers, and I would love to see a few Archons, but I just do not think he has the money for it. And when I see the mothership right here, I'm like, oh, cool, I still have a lot of Corruptors. I have a few Infestors on the ground, and the biggest thing is I just need to be careful right here, pulling my troops. Oh, he does not even have enough energy for Vortex yet. It's coming, but with the Corruption ability on there just is not enough DPS to take my Corruptors down. The mothership falls, and Soapy GG's out, and all these poor units getting full growth, they will die a terrible horde death. This Void Ray just getting shot, and I kind of wanted to talk to Soapy for a little bit after this game, just because I thought he was just such an awesome guy. That poor Zealot just standing there, he knows the horde is upon him. So I hope you guys enjoy this game of StarCraft. Definitely a longer, more macro-orientated game, but I just love the way that it transitioned from me losing my hatchery early on to, I'm going to call it an epic defense and blind, a blind move for me hoping to do some type of cheesy shit against him into these Hydralisks, which realistically ended up shutting down his air, forced him to transition. That entire build really just going for the starport and getting those units out actually bought me time. So that's one thing where I see a lot of Protoss when they play. That's a lot of gateways where they'll do something extremely well, like they'll get off a great cannon, or they'll get a great, pressure push from 2 gateways, and then they'll follow it up with something like Stargate or DTs, particularly DTs, are extremely popular. And one thing for us Zerg is we're not so much afraid of losing some units anymore, because so what if I lose some units? As long as I have my 2 bases up and I have enough workers, I can remax, I can build so many drones so quickly, and while you're taking that 2 or 3 minutes and dumping the minerals into that, next set of cheese attacks, it just doesn't seem to do a lot, especially, in my case, blind Hydras were the perfect answer to that. But even if it's DTs, as long as I can get some detection down, you're probably not going to do the damage that you need to, and at that point, we're just going to re-drone straight through it. We've kind of learned to play through the pain, move into the punches instead of moving out of the punches, and that's just the life of a Zerg, man. The lone creep tumor, the creep tumor that could. But I hope you guys enjoyed the game. Bloody mess of biological parts and blood splatter. This is Malikicowtipper signing out.